Think about how much time you spend each day focusing on everyone else, what they need, what they want, what they expect of you. How often do you stop and truly ask yourself, what do I need today? What do I want today? How do I feel right now? For most of us, the answer is very little. We live in a world that constantly teaches us to serve, to please, to prove. And while caring for others is beautiful, it becomes harmful when it causes us to abandon ourselves. My dear, you cannot build a joyful life if every single day you neglect the most important person in it, you. Self-love is not selfish. Self-love is sacred. I want you to really hear this. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you keep giving and giving without returning to yourself, without refilling, eventually you will run dry. You will feel resentful, exhausted, disconnected, and then you wonder why happiness seems so far away. The truth is, happiness does not vanish because life is cruel. It fades when we stop giving ourselves attention. Just as a garden cannot bloom if it is never watered, your life cannot flourish if you are always looking outward and never inward. So today I want to remind you of a simple but powerful message. You matter. Your needs matter. Your heart matters. Your life matters. You cannot wait for the world to give you permission to care for yourself. You must give yourself that permission every single day, because only then can you rebuild your life on the foundation of self-love, not on the shaky ground of other people's approval. Now let us move into the second lesson. Stop wasting your energy. Oh, how often I see this. Beautiful souls wasting their precious energy on things that do not serve them, on patterns that only drain them, on habits that keep them stuck in the same cycle of frustration. Do you see yourself in this? Because if you do, know that you are not alone. We have all done it. But the good news is, we can change it. The first way we waste energy is by over-explaining ourselves. How many times have you found yourself justifying your choices, your decisions, your dreams to people who may never understand them? You say, I want to take a break, and then you explain for 5 minutes why you deserve it. You say, I don't want to go out tonight, and then you list 10 reasons, hoping someone will accept them. But listen, my dear, you do not need to explain your life to anyone. Your decisions are yours. Your boundaries are yours. Your journey is yours. And the more you explain, the more you are teaching your subconscious that you need external approval to live your truth. Stop giving away that power. You do not need to defend yourself for choosing what feels right. The second way we waste energy is by chasing approval. How often do you check to see if others are happy with you? How often do you silence yourself because you are afraid of rejection? How often do you do things not because you want to, but because you want to be liked? My dear, you were not born to spend your life as a mirror for other people's expectations. You were born to shine as yourself. The moment you stop chasing approval, you reclaim your energy. You begin to stand in your own truth. You begin to see that love does not come from bending yourself into someone else's shape. It comes from standing tall in your own. The third way we waste energy is by complaining instead of acting. Yes, my dear, this one is big. How many times have you found yourself saying, I'm so tired, I'm so unhappy, I'm so stuck, without making a change? Complaining feels like release, but it is really a trap. Because every time you complain, you are rehearsing your pain. You are carving the same groove deeper into your subconscious. And soon, your mind begins to look only for problems instead of solutions. Do not let that be your pattern. When you catch yourself complaining, pause. Ask, is this helping me? or is this draining me? And then gently guide yourself toward action, toward possibility, toward change. Because the truth is, my dear, success does not come from words alone. It does not come from the endless explaining or the chasing or the complaining. Success comes from steady action, from loving discipline, from daily devotion to yourself. Every day you focus on one small step, one loving choice, one positive thought, you are building. You may not see it at first, but just as a seed planted in the soil does not sprout overnight, your daily choices are taking root. And if you keep nurturing them, if you keep showing up for yourself, one day you will wake up and realize you have rebuilt your life. So I ask you now, where are you wasting your energy? Where are you giving away your power? Where are you draining yourself instead of nourishing yourself? Be honest, be gentle, and then decide that today is the day you stop, because you deserve to live with energy that fuels you, not drains you. You deserve to direct that energy into dreams that lift you, not habits that hold you down. You have been criticizing yourself for years, and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. My dear, I have said those words countless times, and I will keep saying them because they carry a truth that many of us forget. You do not need anyone outside of you to tell you that you are worthy. You do not need applause to validate your existence. You do not need approval to prove your value. Your worth is inherent. Your worth is unquestionable. Your worth is already here, simply because you exist. How many of us, from the time we were children, learned to measure ourselves through the eyes of others? A smile from a parent meant we were good. A frown meant we were bad. A teacher's approval made us feel smart, while a single criticism made us feel small. And slowly, over the years, many of us built a habit of waiting for others to tell us who we are, waiting for the world to give us permission to feel enough. But let me remind you, waiting for validation is giving away your power. You are the only one who can decide your worth, because you are the only one who lives inside your skin, inside your mind, inside your heart. Imagine for a moment treating yourself as someone you dearly love. If your child or your closest friend came to you and said, "Am I good enough? Am I worthy? Do I deserve love?" Would you hesitate? Would you say only if others say so? Of course not. You would look them in the eye and say, "You are valuable. You are worthy. You do not need to earn it. It is who you are." So why not offer yourself the same gift? Why not speak to your own heart with the same tenderness, the same certainty, the same unconditional love? Let me give you a truth to hold on to. Validation is borrowed, self-worth is owned. When you seek validation outside of yourself, it is always temporary. You might feel good for a moment, but the feeling fades, and you must chase it again. But when you anchor yourself in the truth of your inherent worth, no one can take it from you. Applause may come and go, but your value does not waver. Criticism may rise and fall, but your essence does not change. So instead of asking the world to prove your worth, ask yourself, if I truly loved myself, how would I care for me today? That question alone can transform everything. Because when you love yourself, you feed your body with kindness, not punishment. You speak to your mind with compassion, not cruelty. You set boundaries not to push others away, but to protect your peace. And you stop wasting your life trying to convince others that you matter, because you already know you do. Let us affirm it together now. My value is inherent. I do not need permission to exist. I am worthy. I am enough. Say it softly. Say it with love. and notice how your body begins to relax, how your heart begins to open, how your spirit begins to remember. Now let us talk about the difference between happiness and what is truly good for you. This is an important lesson because many of us confuse the two. We chase temporary pleasures, thinking they are happiness, and then wonder why we still feel empty. But here is the truth. What feels good in the moment is not always what is good for your growth. For example, sleeping in late may feel wonderful in the short term, but long-term discipline creates the life you dream of. Eating sweets may bring a quick rush of joy, but nourishing your body consistently builds health and energy. Saying yes to everything may make others happy for a moment, but learning to say no with love creates lasting respect and freedom. Do you see the difference? One is about comfort right now. The other is about creating a foundation that serves you for years to come. Now, I am not saying you must deny yourself every little pleasure. Joy is sacred, laughter is healing, play is important. But what I am inviting you to see is that true happiness is deeper than comfort. True happiness is built on choices that honor your highest self. Sometimes what feels good is easy. Sometimes what is good requires courage. Sometimes what feels good is immediate. Sometimes what is good takes time. So let me ask you, are you living for short-term pleasure or for long-term peace? Are you choosing what soothes you right now or what strengthens you for tomorrow? Because life will always offer you both, and it is your conscious choice that shapes your path. Think of it like this. You are building a house called your life. Instant happiness is like decorating the walls. It looks nice, but if the foundation is weak, it will not last. Doing what is truly good for you is like laying bricks in the foundation. It may take longer, it may not look glamorous at first, but over time it creates something strong, safe, and lasting. Do not confuse decoration for foundation. Do not confuse temporary pleasure for lasting fulfillment. And here is the beauty. When you consistently choose what is truly good for you, the pleasures of life become even sweeter. You enjoy rest more because you have earned it. You enjoy treats more because they are not filled with guilt. You enjoy relationships more because you are not abandoning yourself for them. The long-term good makes the short-term joys more meaningful. So, my dear, the message is simple. What is good for you is not always easy, but it always builds the best version of you. When you wake up early to meditate, when you say no to what drains you, when you choose nourishing foods, when you practice discipline, those moments may not always feel like happiness right away, but they are acts of self-love. They are bricks in the foundation of your joy. They are gifts to your future self. And that is the greatest love you can give yourself. Not just comfort in the moment, but strength for the journey. Not just pleasure today, but peace tomorrow. Not just happiness that fades, but fulfillment that lasts. You know, so many people come to me and say, Louise, I want peace. I want balance. I want to love myself more. And my first response is often, tell me, where are your boundaries? Because, my dear, you cannot live in peace if every yes you speak is really a no in your heart. Saying yes to everything, to everyone, all the time, it is the fastest way to lose yourself. And yet, so many of us do it. Why? Because we are afraid of rejection, afraid of conflict, afraid of being called selfish. But let me remind you, boundaries are not walls to shut people out. They are doors that teach people how to love you. Think about this. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you are saying no to your own peace. Every time you say yes to an obligation that violates your truth, you are saying no to your own growth. And every time you say yes out of fear, you are saying no to love. So what if instead you gave yourself permission to say no with love? What if you realize that one honest no can become the most powerful yes to your soul? Because when you protect your peace, you honor your worth. And when you honor your worth, you show others how to honor it too. Now I know this is not easy. For many of us, guilt rises the moment we even think about saying no. We think, what if they're upset with me? What if they don't love me anymore? What if they walk away? But listen closely, my dear. Any relationship that requires you to abandon yourself is not love. It is dependency. Real love respects boundaries. Real love respects individuality. Real love wants you to be whole, not broken. So if saying no causes someone to leave, then they were not truly honoring you in the first place. Let's practice this together. Put your hand on your heart and whisper, "It is safe for me to say no. It is safe for me to protect my peace. My no is a yes to myself." How does that feel? Strange, maybe? Awkward? That's okay. Remember what I taught you. The first time you do anything new, it feels uncomfortable. But with practice, your subconscious begins to accept it. And one day, saying no will feel as natural as breathing, because you will know deep in your soul that you are worthy of that boundary. Boundaries, my dear, are acts of self-love. And self-love is the soil where everything good in life begins to grow. When you set boundaries, you are not pushing people away. You are inviting the right people in. You are teaching the world how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. Now let us talk about belief in yourself. Because even with the strongest boundaries, if you do not believe in yourself, life will always feel shaky. No one can believe in you if you do not first believe in yourself. And belief is not something you wake up with one morning. It is something you build moment by moment, choice by choice, promise by promise. How do we build this belief? We start small. We begin with the promises we make to ourselves. You see, every time you say, "I'll take care of myself tomorrow," and then you don't, you chip away at your self-trust. Every time you say, "I'll rest early tonight," and then you don't, you weaken your belief in yourself. And over time, your subconscious learns not to take you seriously. But the opposite is also true. Every time you keep even the smallest promise to yourself, you grow stronger inside. Every time you follow through, even in little ways, you are telling your subconscious, "I can trust myself. I mean what I say. My word matters." Belief is built through consistency, not perfection. You do not need to be flawless. You simply need to be faithful. One small action, repeated with love, becomes a pillar of trust within you. When you walk every morning, when you write in your journal, when you meditate even for 5 minutes, you are training your mind to trust you. And as your self-trust grows, so does your confidence, so does your power, so does your joy. Belief in yourself also means respecting your own emotions. Too often, we dismiss how we feel. We push it down, we ignore it, we tell ourselves it is not important. But when you dishonor your emotions, you dishonor yourself. Your emotions are signals. They are not your enemy, they are your compass. When you feel joy, it is telling you that you are aligned. When you feel anger, it is telling you that something is unjust. When you feel sadness, it is telling you that something needs love. Trusting yourself means listening to those signals and responding with kindness, not judgment. And do not forget the power of your intuition, that quiet whisper inside, that gut feeling. It is your inner wisdom speaking. Too often we override it because we think others know better, or because fear drowns it out. But your intuition is the voice of your soul. It will never lead you astray. And every time you honor it, you strengthen your self-belief. Every time you say, I trust myself, I trust my guidance, I trust my path, you are reclaiming your power. So let us bring this all together. Healthy boundaries and self-belief are not separate. They are sisters. They walk hand in hand. When you set boundaries, you protect your belief in yourself. And when you believe in yourself, you find the courage to set boundaries. Together, they create a foundation of peace, strength, and love that no one can take from you. Close your eyes with me now, just for a moment, and repeat these affirmations. It is safe for me to say no. Every no I speak is a yes to my soul. I trust myself. I honor my word. I believe in my own guidance. My life blooms beautifully because I protect my peace and believe in my worth. Feel those words enter your heart. Feel them sink into your subconscious. This is not just talk. This is transformation. This is how you rebuild your life with self-love. Step by step, boundary by boundary, promise by promise. I often say to people, the way you begin your day is the way you live your life. Because every morning is a new opportunity to choose yourself again, to honor yourself again, to love yourself again. So let us talk about the simple, powerful ways you can focus on yourself each day. Not just once in a while, but as a sacred practice, a daily devotion to your well-being. Because when you care for yourself consistently, you rebuild your life one loving choice at a time. The first way is to give yourself your mornings. 10 minutes, that's all it takes. 10 minutes to sit quietly in meditation, to breathe, to bring yourself back into balance before the noise of the world begins. 10 minutes to repeat affirmations that remind you of your worth, that remind you of your safety, that remind you of your power. 10 minutes to write in your journal, to put your thoughts on paper so they do not swirl endlessly in your mind. My dear, those 10 minutes are not wasted time, they are invested time. They are seeds you plant at dawn that grow into the tone of your entire day. The second practice is gratitude, but not just for the world outside of you, for yourself. So many people remember to be thankful for their families, their jobs, their homes, and that is beautiful. But how often do you stop and write down 3 things you appreciate about yourself? Maybe you showed courage when you were afraid. Maybe you spoke kindly to yourself when you made a mistake. Maybe you simply got out of bed on a hard day. Gratitude for yourself is not arrogance. It is acknowledgement. It is saying, I see me, I honor me, I am proud of me. And every time you write those words, your subconscious mind begins to believe them, to build them into the foundation of your self-worth. The third way is to change the way you speak to yourself. Oh, my dear, if you spoke to your friends the way you speak to yourself, would you still have friends? Too often our inner dialogue is cruel, sharp, unforgiving. We criticize, we judge, we punish, and yet we wonder why we feel small. Self-talk is not just words, it is programming. Every phrase you whisper to yourself writes itself into your subconscious. So instead of saying, I'm stupid, I'm lazy, I'll never get it right, try saying, I am learning, I am growing, I am becoming. Instead of, I'm not enough, say, I am enough, I am lovable, I am worthy. And if it feels strange at first, that's okay. Keep going, because repetition rewires, and one day Those words will not only feel true, they will be true in your experience. Another way to focus on yourself is to invest in yourself, not with money alone, but with intention. Read books that nourish your mind. Take classes that expand your skills. Try new practices that strengthen your spirit. Every time you invest in yourself, you are declaring to life, I am worth growing, I am worth learning, I am worth the effort. And the universe responds to that declaration. Opportunities begin to appear. Doors open. Teachers arrive. You begin to attract what aligns with the belief that you are valuable. Remember, when you invest in yourself, life invests in you. Do not forget your body, for it is the home of your soul. Care for it with the love it deserves. Feed it with food that nourishes, not punishes. Move it in ways that bring joy, not dread. Rest it with gentleness, not guilt. Your body is not the enemy. Your body is not a burden. Your body is the miracle through which you live and love and create. When you care for your body, you are saying, I deserve to feel good. I deserve to live with energy. I deserve to be well. And the body, in its infinite wisdom, responds with healing, with strength, with renewal. And finally, keep your promises to yourself. Big or small, it does not matter. If you tell yourself you will drink more water, do it. If you promise to call a friend, do it. If you commit to resting earlier, honor it. Because every time you keep your word, you strengthen the bond of trust within you. And every time you break it, you weaken it. Think of your relationship with yourself as you would a relationship with someone you love. Would you trust a friend who broke every promise they made? No. But would you cherish a friend who always kept their word? Yes. So be that kind of friend to yourself. Self-trust is built in small steps, in daily actions, in consistent love. So here's the truth, my dear. Focusing on yourself every day is not selfish. It is essential. When you meditate, when you practice gratitude, when you speak with love, when you invest in growth, when you care for your body, when you keep your promises, you are not taking away from anyone. You are filling your cup so that your overflow can bless the world. You are saying yes to yourself so that your yes to others comes from abundance, not depletion. You are becoming the strong, peaceful, radiant version of you that life always intended. Let's affirm relationship. Each day I give myself time. I am grateful for who I am becoming. I speak to myself with kindness and love. I honor my body, my mind, and my soul with care. I trust myself because I keep my word. Feel those words sink in. Let them become not just affirmations, but truths that live within you. Because the secret is simple. When you focus on yourself with love every single day, you do not just rebuild your life, you transform it. And the world around you begins to reflect the beauty you have cultivated within. Can I ask you something, my dear? When was the last time you looked in the mirror, smiled softly, and said, I am enough exactly as I am? Many of us go through entire days, weeks, even years without ever saying those words to ourselves. We wait for someone else to tell us we are worthy, that we matter, that we are lovable. But tonight, I want you to take your power back. I want you to plant new beliefs in your heart that will rebuild your life from the inside out. Here are the truths I invite you to embrace. I am good enough even when I am not perfect. Repeat that with me. Feel the release that comes when you no longer demand perfection from yourself in order to feel worthy. I allow myself to prioritize me without feeling guilty. Say it again. Notice how freeing it is to realize that caring for yourself is not selfish, it is sacred. Each day I grow stronger and freer. Let that sink in, because healing is not about giant leaps, it is about daily steps. And finally, I love and accept myself unconditionally. That is the foundation upon which your entire life will blossom. And what happens, my dear, when you focus on yourself with this kind of love? Your energy shifts, your light returns. You begin to attract relationships that are healthy, nurturing, respectful. Because you are healthy, nurturing, and respectful toward yourself, you begin to see opportunities flow to you. Because you are no longer trapped in the cage of pleasing others. You start to live as your true self, no longer bending under the weight of expectations. And in that authenticity, you don't just inspire others, you liberate them. When you focus on yourself, you don't take away from the world, you show the world how to live in truth. So let me leave you with this. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is the highest form of love. Because when you are happy, when you are whole, when you are full of your own light, that light naturally spills over into every life you touch. You don't have to force it. You don't have to prove it. It flows from you effortlessly. So before we end, put your hand gently on your heart and whisper these truths as if you were speaking to a beloved friend. I am my own priority. I love myself. I focus on my growth and happiness every single day. Feel the warmth in your chest as you say them. Imagine each word planting itself deep into the garden of your subconscious, ready to bloom. These are not just sentences, they are seeds of transformation. And each time you repeat them, you water those seeds with love. And now, my dear, remember this. Focusing on yourself every day is not selfish, it is sacred. It is the way you refill your cup so that your love can overflow to the people around you. It is the way you remind the world without words that true joy begins within. When you choose to honor yourself, you create a ripple of healing that touches everyone you meet. So walk away from here with a gentle promise. I choose myself. I choose my peace. I choose my happiness. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Because every moment you return to yourself, life returns to you with more love, more joy, more abundance than you could ever imagine. My dear, you are worthy of your own attention. You are worthy of your own care. And when you live from that truth, you don't just rebuild your life. You create a life so radiant, so authentic, so full of love, that it becomes a blessing to the whole world.